Have you ever stopped to think about all the problems in society? Think about it. Take a look around. Whether you're inside or outside, is everything perfect? Of course not. And in this video, you'll realize the flaws in society through the disability studies perspective. Today, we'll be interviewing a UIC undergraduate student. And for the purpose of this video, we have chosen someone with no prior knowledge of disability studies. Here is Heba. Can you tell us a little bit about how you view disability?
The way that I view disability is probably the way that everyone who is uneducated about the topic views it. The first thing that comes to mind when someone says disability are diseases or physical disability. I think about autism or ADHD or someone who had their leg amputated and can't walk or is paralyzed from an accident. I see that it is the responsibility of researchers and medical professionals to fix disabilities.
Interesting. Where would you have learned this from? Have disability ever been introduced to you? Where did you encounter disability for the first time?
I have encountered disability in my life, but like I said, it's mostly physical disability. My neighbor, when I lived overseas, had his leg amputated from a car accident. Everyone just felt bad for him and hoped the doctors would find a solution. So my interpretation of disability has been a byproduct of where and who I grew up with.
From what it sounds like, you view disability as an object of pity and something to overcome. I'm going to show you a comic now, and I want you to tell me what's wrong in this comic.
The problem with this scenario is that there were no accessibility in the building and she didn't check if the building was accessible beforehand. But then again, they are generalizing the fact that all disabilities are visible when in reality they aren't.
Great, you just demonstrated two ways of viewing disability. Now I'm going to go back to the comic and I'm going to show you the medical model of viewing disability and the social model of viewing disability. So in the comic, the medical model of viewing disability is going to view the person with the disability as the problem. The person can't go up the stairs because they have an impairment. They're the one with the problem and they're the one that has the barrier. Now viewing the social model of disability is not viewing the person with the impairment as the problem, but viewing society as a problem. If there was a ramp and an elevator, there would be no barriers. This views society as putting the barriers for the individual, not the person with the impairment. So now Heba, after this session, how do you view disability now?
From what I have learned in this session, disability isn't always about the person with impairments, but also about societal barriers. Before the session, I viewed disability as a medicalized problem, which as you mentioned is the medical model of viewing disability. But now I know that there is a social model of disability, which is viewing the environment with barriers. We have come so far in our society, but we still have a stigma toward disability and people need to be more aware about this topic especially. Accessibility should be key anywhere.